So today's topic is electrical and information engineering, and these programs offered by German universities. Here are our guests, and of course they will be presenting the study programs. Before that, I want to talk about German University, which is Germany's largest study program database, and here you can find all the programs available or offered by German universities, and the language of instruction could be German or English or different languages as well. And we also have B.Eng. Thank you very much for making it. I know he also had some technical issues. So I think the day is today. All right, feel free to check out also our articles. We have comprehensive articles about different topics. Usually interesting for international applicants are visa, scholarships, and cost of living, for example, in German cities, such kind of things. We have lots of articles in this regard, and feel free to check them out, as they are, of course, written in English, but also translated into different languages. Maybe you prefer reading them in your native one. Feel free to join our webinars. Today you are joining one of the subject webinars. We also have general webinars about broader topics like scholarships, visa, uni assist, and more. And of course, subject webinars where you already kind of start to connect with your future program from your home country, and then you are kind of guided to your application, and you already know the structure of the program and so on. This is our team. We are based in Hamburg, Germany, and we are counseling in different languages. I want to mention, please do not take this counseling as one-to-one counseling, but you could consider the webinars as type of one-to-one, because a lot of people are here to take your questions and guide you through this. But of course, you are the one who should collect all the documents and prepare the application and submit it. Now, I would like to give the mic to Professor Dr. Alfons Klöne, presenting Electrical Engineering and Information Technology Bachelor Engineering Study Program.
So my name is Professor Alfons Klöne, and I'm the Dean of the program Electrical Engineering and Information Technology. We are located in Karlsruhe in the southwest of Germany. And what you see here is somehow typical of Karlsruhe. You see Karlsruhe has not only been the inventor of the car, of the automotive car, but also the inventor of the bicycle once lived in Karlsruhe. But this is just as a short introduction. What will you hear in this short introduction? I would like to convince you why to study in Karlsruhe, how our university is organized, like what our faculty is like, and then I will tell you a little bit about our program here, Electrical Engineering and Information Technology. It's 100% in English language. We are running this program for 4 years right now. We also established a master course, which is also in English language. Maybe there you can continue your studies, and we have time for question and answers. As already said, we are located in the southwest of Germany, not far away from Frankfurt, so 1.5 hours by train. It's a short distance. Let me say we are surrounded by beautiful spots like the Black Forest. It's also close to French border to France. Of course, right now what we see here, it's one of the hottest places here in Germany, but this is not always the case. So I think Karlsruhe is a wonderful spot to live and to stay. To give you a little bit impressions of Karlsruhe, how it looks like, how it's organized, or as you are a visitor. Karlsruhe is a city of 300,000 inhabitants. 2 very big universities, the big one, the research university, KIT, and we, the University of Applied Sciences, with 7,000 students. On the other side of the park of the castle, we have a lot of festivals, especially in summer. The Rhine is not far away. Here in Karlsruhe, it's also the location of the most important federal constitutional court. Of course, this is not so important for you, but just to say, Karlsruhe is a very friendly and safe place to live. You can go everywhere by bike. Public transportation for our students is free, and Karlsruhe is known to be a bicycle-friendly city. So that's how I see our students coming by bike very often. Now let's talk more about program. Our program, and that means our program is well established and connected to our industry. So as a University of Applied Sciences, it's our intention to bring things theory into practice and to be connected to our industrial partners. Maybe you recognize some of the companies which are given here. Of course, you know, Bosch or Audi or Siemens. Siemens with this headquarter of automation engineering, which is located here in Karlsruhe. There we have a close connection. And also the other companies, which are very interesting for our students who do their internship semester in the 5th semester, and then they go to these companies and they have the possibilities just to stay there one semester, that means 6 months, and make practical experience in industry. So that is what's very typical of a University of Applied Sciences, to stay in industry and to have the collaboration with industry. This gives you an overview how a campus looks like. You see our new building here back, and we have another big building and a very large laboratory facility. So right now we have in our faculty 18 different labs from every kind of technology of high frequency, high voltage, microelectronics, analog electronics, whatever is necessary, neural networks, digital signal theory. We have a lot of different labs all integrated in our education. And you see Karlsruhe is a city of green. You see just the forest around. You can have a short walk around and you are directly in the wood. We are also located near to the mid-center of the town, so everything is a short way. Our university is a university of about 7,000 students at about 200 professors. We have 6 faculties. And our bachelor program of electrical engineering and information technology is one of that 22 programs we offer here as bachelor programs. And we also offer many master programs. Our bachelor program in English language has a long former tradition, having one program had in German language. So we have more than 50 years experience in electrical engineering and information technology in German language. And we started 4 years ago with our English program. So so it's not as brand new as it's written here. We start once a year in winter semester. And this is of importance. It's 100% in English language. If you compare to other programs, keep that in mind. Sometimes some programs start in English, but then they turn to German language. So we can guarantee 100% in English language. So every kind of electrical engineering and information technology things you have to know, you are educated in. And what is also important and interesting is that you have the German language in parallel. So you start normally with A1 German language knowledge, and then in parallel you have language courses, and you are forced to do them and to get more knowledge inside the German language. Our bachelor program is a 7-semester program, and as I said, A1 should be the entrance level of German language you should have by entering our program. Maybe you do not know how a University of Applied Sciences is built up. What does it mean? It's a little bit like an engineering school, but not the negative part of school. It means that it's combining research and education to bring together theory and practice. We do not have very large classes, so our classes do normally not have more than 30 students, so there's always a possibility to interact with the professors. We are close connected to industry. Let me say that 2/3 of all engineers which are right now working in German industry have once been at a University of Applied Sciences. Nearly 30 professors here. We offer a broad range of different subjects. You will see it later. Our bachelor program is a 7-semester program, and it's beside our German program, so it can completely be seen as just the implementation in English language, not with a such variety of different possibility of different types where to go in, but the main topics are given also in our English program. So we are concentrating right now especially on automation and robotics and information technology. It's a 7-semester, 210 ECTS program. And yeah, you start in the first 2 semesters with some fundamentals like mathematics, physics, programming. This means programming in language C, digital electronics, and in parallel German language. So you have courses in German language in parallel. And to continue this 3rd, 4th, 5th semester, so you go deeper into electronic engineering in the 3rd and 4th semester. And the 5th semester is internship semester in industry. You do 1 semester in industry, then you return once again for theory semester, and the last semester it's for your bachelor thesis. And this is also done in industry normally. So you have at least normally 2 semesters of practical contact with industry. And we are proud to have good cooperation with industry in that work. Yeah. So we emphasize especially on industrial automation and robotics, because we are connected here to Siemens Karlsruhe, and that is why we have chosen these topics. Yeah, a short overview where you might find more details about the subjects we are doing in the first 2 semesters, if you want to have a closer look later there. And yeah, these are the modules which are given then from the 3rd to the 7th semester. Yeah, you see that we are concentrating. You have many of these colored subjects are those which try to bring you into focus on new technology things, especially in automation. As said, we have a language education in parallel. So if you start with level A1 in German language, you continue in semester 1 with with a language alignment, then followed by intensive courses, step by step, finally to bring you at least to B1 language. Our intention is to bring you to B2 in German language. Either way, if you start earlier with an intensive course, you will earlier be at B2 level, so this is also possible. So at least 3 semesters of German language, and we see this as a necessary advantage, which is also necessary to get into industry. Yeah, maybe I can give you some impression of our project, so that you might have seen in my video, which you haven't seen, but it's what we see here. So for instance, our students implemented like a brewery plant and the automation of it, or this is in our chemical control system they automated. Yeah, we have an own robotic lab, yeah, where students normally do their project works. Our program can be followed by a master program. I will not tell too much because it's a master program in sensor system technology. It's a 4-semester program, also in English language. It's a 4-semester program if you want to continue, or we have another programs, robotics and artificial intelligence in production, which is a 3-semester program. The master program offers 25 places each year, the same we do have in our bachelor program, 25 places each year. And to say to you, those who have been interested normally get also their place also in our bachelor program. Yeah, some important thing, when do you have to apply? What is your deadline? The deadline for application is the 15th of September. But my recommendation is to start as early as possible, because you have to hand in what is called ASK, which is a certificate that gives you the allowance to enter a German university here in Baden-Württemberg. So this takes some time, at least 3 to 4 weeks. This is a formal process. Therefore, you need more time, and you need also time for your visa. So apply as early as you want, and if you have further questions, just email me. We can make a personal webinar. This is always possible. And then I think I'm close to the end. So this is our secretary on the right. You can email her too. And so, yeah, so I'm very grateful for your attention, and I would like to hand over to the next person in our webinar here.
I'd like to give the mic to Lavin and Professor Felipe de Castro.
Very well. I'm very pleased to be here with you. As I was saying, my name is Professor Dr. Felipe de Castro Soeiro. I would like to bring to all of you the vision and the offering in terms of study programs and student services, value-added student services. We integrate all together to support your learning journey. So the main topic, as we see and was brought, is actually to how to best position the and approach the challenge between the fast technology shift that we are all experiencing and the notorious significant gap in terms of skills and competencies that is required to cope with it. While we are dealing with primarily three main factors at the core, at the basis of one global challenge. Number one, we have a very significant global inequality and resource imbalance. Number two, we have a climate change issue and an environmental degradation. And number three is what I said before, is a rapid technology shift, which altogether makes unqualified, societally wise, globally wise, regional wise, locally wise, the necessary skill and competency set to approach these challenges. So the next slide, please. Firstly, I would like to very briefly introduce at least the reasoning for the presentation. Is more like the agenda. I will not cover all the topics here because they are not entirely needed to be seen and discussed in detail, but I will make a very brief approach and focus my attention on the main ones. The trends, the challenges resulting from this digital transformation in the context of Industry 4.0, the general approach of German universities of applied sciences, and of course the XUA, what do we do to make a difference? And there I would like to put more emphasis. The next, please. First things first, just a snapshot. Who are we and how we come to you? We are a University of Applied Sciences, unique, ecosystem-based, open, quite well embedded and integrated in the ecosystem. By ecosystem, I mean the local, the regional, and the international ecosystem. We are located in Brandenburg, in Potsdam, so in the Brandenburg state, and we mirror very much all the flows, technology, regulatory, knowledge, financial, cultural, social, etc., with Berlin, which is obviously a very close city. And it's like a pendular way of living and learning that forms this first layer of our ecosystem. Second of all, we look, of course, to clusters in Germany, to different industries and technologies. And thirdly, we have a global scope by looking primarily to important global innovative Industry 4.0 based hubs such as Silicon Valley, but also, for instance, on important relevant hubs as well in Asia, in China, in Middle East, and also in Europe, lato sensus. We focus primarily in three main areas: AI and data science, sustainability and digital transformation, and last but not least, Industry 4.0 and IoT. So what I would like to talk about today and to present you is primarily the master science in Industry 4.0. You will learn that this is, of course, a study program that is at the convergency or at the intersection of these three main areas. As I, in my introduction, mentioned, this is the approach that, in our view, is the most modern and advanced to tackle the challenges that I enunciated in the beginning of this presentation. All in all, we are a very flexible, open university, very agile. Our cohorts in terms of teaching and learning are quite flexible as well. Typically not 1 to 100 or 1 to 50. We prefer to personalize our teaching and learning experience. So cohorts are typically at a maximum of 20 or 25, and in many cases are even between 15 or 20. We prevail on project-based learning and learning active groups. And we actually integrate in our didactic and pedagogic system all together, mentoring, coaching, methodologies, because also our professorial team is quite well equipped with the real world, all of them with industry experience, many of them with startup experience. So we do not teach just by opening the books and reading the research papers and build and write on those, but also from the real life experience. Yeah, the next, please. I would like to just briefly, very, very briefly, to go into the waves of revolution. We could go on to the next. We are, of course, in this fourth industrial revolution, which integrates and interfaces cyber and physical systems with Internet of Things. You can go to the next one, if you please, where everything is smart and interconnected with big data and analytics. We can go next as well. That means, volume, variety, velocity, and mobile computing with billions of more users to come in this decade, with the flattened world driven by technology. You can go to the next, Levine, please. And that is very well translated, because when we look at your apps, your wearables, your smartphones, any devices you are using, everything is pervasive technology-wise. Everything is non-excludability accessed, meaning the more users one attracts to a certain device or platform or system, the more are attracted in addition, because of network effects. And last but not least, there is an exponential rate. And then, of course, one needs to observe regulatory aspects, small getting smaller, obviously, another trend. And the next one, please. So this goes into the wearables that many of you are fond of. And the next trend is actually that there is a fast disappearing line between real and virtual. Then, of course, we have precision medicine and longevity. And the next, please. And extend performance technology with breakthrough materials, batteries and solar panels, and all these aspects on clean technologies and resilient technologies are gaining space and the urge for better responses. Artificial neural networks, obviously, with generative AI and artificial intelligence applied to industry and services. The next, please. Blockchain technology. And of course, human machine and new forms of intelligence, gaining also a space in how also, and this is what I would like to address. Maybe you make a small pause here, Levine, please. Then, yeah. Just to address that all these together are probably also addressing the overarching question to the human kind, which is redefining their own identity and role in our society. And I think I'm very much convinced that you, dear prospective students, you are the ones who are going to lead this revolution, this next wave. So this is as much important as exactly this. I would skip this part of technology industry cycles, and I would go directly, exactly, to our approach with a brief introduction. Exactly here, with a brief introduction. Why and how did we come to our approach, XU Exponential University approach? Well, firstly and foremostly by considering three main aspects. The first one is we had a very serious and professional look on what is being done, developed, and delivered by the universities of applied sciences in Germany to these challenges. So we took from the best practices and understood didactics, didactic frameworks and pedagogic frameworks, interaction and integration with industry processes and models, as well as assessment and design and development of study experiences within different students groups from all over the world. And putting all that together and integrating also with our vision and our mission, we, as in the beginning, I also shared, I think in one of the slides, we aim to develop and help to support the change makers of a sustainable tomorrow. We set, by monitoring very carefully the trends, these key trends that are shifting and forming the challenges ahead, our study program. And for that, we involved industry experts. So our Master Science in Industry 4.0 is a Master Science that is offered as a 4-semester basis, full-time and part-time. This is 2 possibilities. Of course, the part-time will be double the time, 8-semester basis. Both study variants from 2nd stage or 2-stage bachelor master education system and enable further education for graduates of first professional standard qualification degrees of our university study are obviously considered. It enables graduates to take promotion to high technology and also management positions, because the program combines a huge level of expertise in terms of technology, but also in terms of management and economics. And last but not least, it has an outstanding overarching transversal set of skills and competencies that are offered in domains such as teamwork, leadership, project-based learning, and so on and so forth. So the next one, please. We are forming, therefore, career paths for mid and high management positions. And that is exactly the core practice and the core mechanism how we designed this study program. We consulted in these industry experts, and we found out what are going to be the future jobs for Industry 4.0. And from there, which skills and competencies will be required. And from there on, in what ways our modules should be shaped with qualification goals and methods and tools, and also learning outcomes, of course. So our Master Science is, of course, a combination of technology and business, is pretty much focused on industrial application and services. Students can develop, besides their industrial experience while they are studying, also startups. They have a module transversal to the program that is focused on that. And they can, of course, also have a study abroad semester, which they can also opt to stay in Germany for their 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘪 and their startup development company or project. And of course, they are also invited to complete their internship and ultimately, last but not least, their master thesis as well. If we could go to the next, I would like to just briefly to say that we have very well-equipped laboratories with all kinds of instruments and equipment tools. These are some of the ones that we have installed. In many aspects, we integrate all this equipment with partners. So 3D printing, robot arms, virtual reality, augmented reality, robot process automation, and so on are part of this portfolio of tools. And the next, please. I could go to the next one. And here, yeah. To conclude, 2 aspects. The first one is I would just to make a statement on the how from an examination standpoint, because I do know that this is important for students. Then I go to the what, and the why I think is quite clear. The how in terms of examination, you can guess. With these practical learning experiences, project-based learning experiences, laboratorial work and workshops and boot camps, of course, is much driven and focus on portfolio. And of course, project presentations and developing skills in how to defend and explain those prototypes or models that you are invited to develop over your course of studies is fundamental examination types. Not so much as the very old-fashioned written exams. I'm not saying this in any ways, in any negative way, with all due respect, but just to say it's fundamental that one has what we call in a higher education from also a didactic and pedagogy theory and practice standpoint, the constructivist alignment between, the content curriculum, the methodologies that are supporting the teaching and learning, and last but not least, the respective examination. So this is a must for us. And now regarding the what are you going to learn? Well, before, please. The previous one, yeah. So we have specific modules focusing on technology monitoring. So you learn how to identify the next big thing and learning how and why this will come, and in what ways this next big thing, I mean the next new technologies are converging one another to generate new products, new business models, new ways to learn, etc. You will learn about smart product design, big data and analytics, and object-oriented programming as well, Industry 4.0 strategy and management, smart services, smart factory, knowledge, expertise, and very important as well, advanced virtual environments. Then, of course, you have program complementary modules. These are specific on competencies, as I mentioned to you, which covers impact data management, future economy, etc. And then we have transversal modules, which goes into leadership, descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, research skills, and consulting skills. And then after these foundations are developed, you will experience the higher specialization modules, which are coming in areas of specialization. And we have three main areas of specialization. So we have smart cities that you can pick from, actually. Smart cities, you may decide that you want to become the next big expert operating in smart cities. Very important to tackle the challenges we start with. Or we may decide that you will prefer to become a leader in terms of robotics and automation. Or instead of it, you have a broader area of specialization, which is focusing on smart industrial applications. This is where a lot of our partners also join, and you can look at smart complexity, supply chain, logistics, but also renewable energies or automotive industry, and so on and so forth. You name it. It's very, very large. It's very broad. It's top-notch experience. The other components, I already explained them beforehand. And the next, if you please. This is just a deep dive on our project-based learning. Maybe you can go to the next. And these are to showcase with you some names of companies. The list is endless, actually. But this showcases to you two aspects, in my opinion, important, very important ones, that size of companies doesn't matter that much in this context, because it's very important that you become acquainted to work with large companies as well as to Mittelstand companies, and also with startups. Sometimes the big questions, the big approaches in terms of Industry 4.0, informatics, engineering, you name it, they come from startups. We are actually challenging the status quo. Other times you found that in the Mittelstand companies across a regional cluster, whereas for some other examples might be that you are better off by learning from a global player. This is one aspect. And the second one to conclude is that we give great deal of interest as well in working with either for-profit or non-profit organizations. We think that, and having said that, some are more oriented to, let's say, industry, and others would be, or business industry, if you will, and others would be more oriented to services and eventually to citizenship-based services, or even governmental interface services. Yeah, that said, that is, I think, sum it up, everything, taking education beyond tomorrow. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you have questions and interest in learning more. Thanks a lot, Lavin, for your wonderful support and for jumping also immediately into this technical issue in the start.
I was glad I could contribute as well. Thank you, Dr. Felipe, for your wonderful presentation, for insights. For those of you who don't know, if you decide to study with us, you will be engaging with companies in the classroom environment, and you will be expected, like Felipe said, to work on company projects and also present to them at the end of the semester to maybe even get your grades, or even then create networking opportunities. Or if you do good presentations to these companies, then you could also have the chance to get hired by them for internships during your studies. And that's the first step that Exponential University gives you in your career within the classroom environment. Before we conclude, just for you all to know, we do have tuition fees. We are a private university, and we teach our program fully in English, so you don't need to have any level of German to study with us. But if you come from a non-English speaking country, then you do need to have a certain level of English, mainly IELTS 6.0 or equivalent. And if you are applying for this program for my German university, normally our programs are at about, this particular program is about 12,000 euros per year, 2-year program, 24,000 euros. But if you apply with my German university, you can then look to get a special tuition fee and a scholarship for my German university, which then will make the program at 8,500 euros per year. So apply now and contact my German university, or get in touch with us via our website for more details about these scholarships and also our tuition fees as well. And my lovely colleague Zhu has been putting a lot of links in the channel, so you'll be able to get to see all our YouTube, LinkedIn, and also all the company projects that we've been doing. A lot of the big companies here in Germany and also in Europe. And we also do a lot of projects that are co-funded by the European Union. So thank you, my German University, for this session, and we hope to see a lot of questions, and we also hope to get a lot of inquiries from students who are attending here today. And thank you very much, like we say in German, auf Wiedersehen, and we look to hear from you in terms of your questions. Back to you, Nino.
I would like to take the time to answer some questions. Maybe let's start. Yes, so can you share the email from speaker from Heilbronn? Already done. Dear Finn, it's already in chat. And somebody is saying to professors, thank you. I just gladly voice it. Thank you, dear professors, for the contribution to today's webinar. Professor 𝘱𝘪𝘵, you already answered the very first question about if it's okay to apply from outside of Germany. Maybe I could add, do you use UniAssist or not? Do you have, I already put the link to the portal, but it's better to hear it from you. And if you have any application costs.
So we have an application portal. You can just apply there directly. The restrictions are given there. I didn't, unfortunately, I haven't mentioned that we have tuition fees of 1,500 euros for those who are not members of the European Union, but those who have German citizenship or European citizenship is no problem with that. Yes, sorry, your question, Nino.
About the application cost, do you have any?
No, just apply. So I do not see, there are no costs.
Thank you. Talking about the application procedure, I think Professor also mentioned the two options to do a part-time or a full-time program, and there was a question if there are differences in costs. I know Zhu already took it, but it's also nice to voice it for maybe other potential applicants.
So our program is a full-time program. Sometimes, because of personal reasons, students prefer a part-time program. Then they can ask our examination board how to postpone some exams. This might be possible, but this is not the normal way. So normally we start by 100% full-time. And I think it's a better one just to get into German language and culture.
Thank you. Do you want to give any feedback from 𝘗𝘢 universities? Anyone from the team?
Maybe I'll get this.
Yes, please.
So what is what do you exactly, what was the question again? Just if you just
So
remind me.
if you have part-time and full-time option, what are there differences in prices and application?
All right. So the part-time options are generally available for European students. And then the European students can obviously, I mean, there is no difference in the price except of doing it for 2 semesters, you'll do it for 4 semesters. So instead of paying maybe 8,500 euros per year, you probably pay half of that, which is about 4,500 euros per year, which is about 325, 350 euros per month. And then you pay it over a period of 8 semesters. But also, if you do come from the European Union or you have German citizenship, then we also have financing options for these students where they can possibly look to finance their tuition fees with one of our financing partners based here in Germany, and they could take that tuition fees as a credit and then pay it back once they get a high-paying job after graduating with our Industry 4.0 program and under the excellent leadership of Dr. Felipe over here. I mean, if you study this program with Industry 4.0 with Dr. Felipe, trust me, you're going to get good salary after graduation. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Okay, the question came now for Professor 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘱. I've got an admission in electrical engineering information technology full-time program for winter 2025. Can I know what will be the students' strength? Maybe how many students will be per class, or?
Yeah, let me answer you. So last winter term, 42 students immatriculated in our program, and some then decided to go to other universities. But we started about with 30 students. So 30 students is very typical in our class.
Thank you. I saw one question, actually one question that consisted of 3 questions for 𝘗𝘢 University. And again, like I always will mention that I seek answers from Zoom, but maybe we could mention it for others as well, because these are different questions. The first one, is there a student club for robotics, electronics, or
If there is, can you
hackathons?
repeat, please?
Student clubs for robotics and electronics, and how active they are, or do students usually engage in them?
Yeah, the program that we explain here is not only absolutely modern, forward-looking view oriented, but it's entirely new. So we started the first semester exactly in April this year. So clubs are not yet formed for this study program, but I can tell you that the other study programs that were formed beforehand, they have lots of clubs. We have the coding and software engineering club. We have the club oriented to digital marketing and social media, and so on and so forth. So we are very much looking forward to your ideas to form new clubs. The new cohort that started just a few months ago is really, really excited. Everyone, I can tell you this firsthand, is working on modeling already, prototypes in the area. This is quite varied, but I can tell that there are some relevant interests. There are some clusters we identified in the domain of health and bionic applications, also in the domain of smart authentication on multiple types of devices to have a seamless experience with virtual technologies that can be readily integrated, easily integrated on a daily life. This goes into very different sides of applications. And of course, many of those are also focused on robotics and automation. So maybe, this is just an educated guess, the first idea, the first club will come from one of those, probably from robotics and automation. But again, I mean, feel free. We are very open to this. Needless to say that our code of conduct empowers very, very much the students. So the students are given ownership and initiative, and also the responsibility. So actually, I put that in the context of your question, because it's not only naming clubs. You can actually manage the clubs, set the agenda. The agenda is in well alignment usually with the student representative of the respective cohort, and then again of the respective study program, bachelor science or master science, and then to the respective student council. So the student community is an important body in our university. I can tell you that in my role of president, I regularly meet with the student representatives, exchange on ideas. They sit in the Senate, they sit in different commissions. So it's not only about, the fun, and I think this is super important, but this is also about the ownership and, the interest and the leadership that you can take by driving a club on activities, on learning activities, on ludic activities, and so on. Very much welcome to hear suggestions in this regard. And they will come very, very soon, for sure.
Just to add to that, our coding students actually take part in the World Coding and Software Engineering competition. And this year also, one of our students participated in the AI ethical competition held by the European Union and came third in that project as well. So just for you guys to know what some of the students achieve with clubs.
Let me tell you about the activities of our students. We have established a Formula 1 student program, and more than 60 students are working right now on the next generation of a racing car with electric drive. And some of our international students are also there inside. They are also managing this program. We are proud of them. And we are also proud we have just the first bachelor student just entering industry. He went to Texas Instruments in Munich. This is also a great honor for us.
Great.
I could perhaps briefly just add, because maybe this was not yet emphasized, the majority of our students get very easily jobs in the industry. Either we are talking about Porsche, or we're talking about Amazon, or we are talking about different companies, services, industry, etc. What I think it's also important to mention here is that we give the chance to the ones who have the willingness to develop their own startups. And in our ranks, we are very proud also to count with students who have been taken and looked up as leaders, as entrepreneurial leaders. They come very often into the Spiegel or other relevant magazines in the press, showcasing their ideas, their projects, and I'm saying companies, so starting up their new prospects, new propositions, and they somehow, it's the new generation leading, as I said in the beginning. So it's not only about the clubs that I would like to speak, it's also about the impact that the students can make out of their experience during their living time period with the university, but then afterwards as part of the alumni network, etc. And perhaps to finalize one very simple and very powerful example, we had in our experiences, our students established and approved a TEDx event for XU. So this started to address the major global challenges. So think global, act local. This is our principle actually as a university, and they start to identify the global challenges. Then they invited experts from which they could collect insights. They involve our professors in leading research activities, and they organized the whole event. So the whole event was managed by students, since marketing, website, content, relationships management, recruitment of industry experts and keynotes, and so on. This might give a view to these potential students on what can be the role that they can drive. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe the last question for today is for Professor Klöne. It says for me that you are typing an answer, but maybe we could voice it. Good evening, Professor. I'm very interested in joining the electrical engineering and ITO programs at Karlsruhe. I'm currently waiting for the ASK certificate for which I have applied. Once that is submitted, could you please let me know approximately how long it will take to receive an admission response?
So normally the ASK procedure takes 3 to 4 weeks. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And after that, we are very fast in our admission office. So normally just between 2 or 3 weeks, you get an answer. If not, then email me directly. So I know that you are waiting, sitting there in your countries and waiting for visa, and you have to do many things just to organize apartments, whatever. Email me directly. So it shouldn't take too long.
Mm-hmm. And there are 3 more questions that came for you, Professor, right now. Like, let me read like really quickly.
Mhm.
First do you have any communities that potential students can join, for example, WhatsApp channels or Discord that current students or alumni are using so that people can like already meet and connect? This is the first question. Do you have orientation week before the start? And do you have any similar like orientation to plan the studies? Like maybe you have professors that are assigned to students, and then if they help with elective courses or something similar.
Yes, we support our students as much as we can. So in the beginning, students do not come in just all on the same day because of visa. Some have problems. So they are organized by each other in groups. So we have like an email group in which all the students are organized so they can email them directly. We have a very active student council, and it's always good. And I have seen that our students have organized their own WhatsApp group beside of the professors. So sometimes this is also good. But we have a very active student members council, very active in that. So we help them to organize. We have an orientation week together with our German students in the beginning. So we help you to get started. We have also a learning center. And regarding your subjects in which you want to focus, you can ask me or each of the professors directly. So we are a university of very short ways. You do not have to wait weeks for an office hour. That you just step in and ask.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for this nice afternoon/evening. I don't know from where, dear attendees, you are joining us right now. It was